guys, let's talk about some of the pitfalls of the law of attraction. So, the law of attraction is quite a big teaching in the spiritual community and the New Age community, and I personally came across the law of attraction through The Secret. So, that was my introduction to it many years ago, and it was perfectly timed. I would say The Secret came into my life at a time when I really needed it because I wasn't a very happy person and I knew that something needed to change in my life. And that book really helped me to take responsibility for my life, helped me to feel like I had some control over my life. So I definitely benefited from it, and I manifested some healthier relationships as a result of it. And the thing was that at the time, I was actually seeking happiness through relationships. So that was the most important thing to me at the time. And that's why I was so drawn to the law of attraction, and I had success with it. So I'm not here to tell you that the law of attraction doesn't work. If you have a good understanding of the law of attraction, then, and you know how to practice it properly, then yes, it can definitely work, because the law of attraction is a universal law, okay? And it is basically about vibrational resonance, which explains why things happen, to us, and not just to us individually, but also in the collective. Okay, so the law of attraction provides a good understanding of, why certain things happen to us, why certain people come into our lives. It totally makes sense and it's totally real. So I'm not here to tell you that it's fake or anything like that. But with the law of attraction, it can cause some people to feel stuck. And so that's really what I want to talk about today. So, okay, so let's get into that. Okay, so people that use the law of attraction, and the reason that I used to use it as well, was to try and attract certain things into my life. And it's usually because we think that these things are going to make us happy. So it's never the actual things that we want. It's never the money or the perfect relationship or the perfect car or the dream house. So it's never the things that we actually want, but it's what we think the things are going to do for us, right? It's because we want to feel happy. And so this is why the law of attraction will actually get you to focus on how you feel, okay? It will get you to not to try and manifest the object so much, but to become a vibrational match to whatever you feel that the thing actually represents energetically to you. So it's the energy frequency that particular thing that you desire represents is what the law of attraction is teaching you to align with, so that then this thing can eventually materialize physically into your life. And yes, everything does start at the spiritual level. Everything starts at the etheric level before we experience it physically as an actual physical thing, okay? I mean, that is basically that is literally the evolution of creation, of the creative process. Everything comes into being like that, even the planet, okay, and us as humans. So things do start at the etheric level, because energy is underlying everything. Energy forms the basis of everything. So one of the things that the law of attraction will get you to focus on is your feelings, your actual emotions, because your emotions are the magnetic force. Okay, that is really the attracting force that enables something to come into your life. So it's all about how you feel, because how you feel can have the effect of shifting your perspective and help you to see a situation differently. Okay, helps you to see things in a more positive way. And the pitfall with this can be that people may feel an enormous pressure to have to feel positive emotion, like to have to feel really happy all the time. And that is extremely difficult to sustain, right? And the result of that also can be that they'll feel like as though they can't feel any negative emotion. And the thing is, negative emotion is not meant to be ignored. It's not meant to be ignored, because then you will suppress negative emotion. Okay, you end up pushing it down. Your negative emotions you need to look at as though they are actually giving you guidance, okay, on how your energy is flowing at the moment. That's how you know where you need to make adjustments with yourself. That's when you know that you're not in alignment, you're not connected, you're not attuned to higher energies. And so emotions are your guidance system. So negative emotions are not meant to be ignored at all. Your negative emotions is something that you need to acknowledge. So really, the thing to do, I would say, is rather than to aim to feel extremely joyful and happy all the time, is to try and instead just aim for peace. And what you can do is cultivate the observer within you. And what you want to do is, whenever you are faced by any situation, whether it's negative or positive, is to just observe it from a very neutral stance. And what that eventually does is it helps to actually invite opportunities into your life that you can then respond to, that will help to create change in your life. Okay, so the other thing that I want to talk about is we have mass spiritual awakening happening on the planet. And so a lot of the teachings, Eastern spiritual teachings, yoga, and even like Western spiritual teachings, will teach us to actually release our attachments, to let go of our attachments and desires, okay, which really seems to obviously contradict what law of attraction is trying to do for us, which is for us to actually manifest things into our lives. So this is a trap, okay, because the thing is that focusing too much on the physical, focusing on too much on the physical stuff you want to bring into your life, can cause you to become further entrenched into materialism. And spiritual awakening and spiritual practices are about actually releasing matter, because we're actually currently in what is called an ascension cycle, or in anthroposophical terms it's referred to as the spiritualization arc of evolution. So this is about actually releasing our attachments to the physical. It's about releasing matter and spiritualizing ourselves. And this is what yoga is about, and this is what a lot of the spiritual practices are about. They're getting us to release ourselves from the material. We're taught that that the physical world is illusory, that it is temporary, that this is a death and rebirth planet that we are on. Everything happens in cycles, okay? So like the seasons come and go. People are born, people die. It is a death and rebirth planet. And so this current spiritualization arc is about us actually releasing matter and ascending back up to spirit. And so if we become too attached to the physical, then that can actually stifle our spiritual development. And so we've got to remember that at the end of the day, if we become too focused on all the physical stuff that we really want, it actually moves us further away from spirit. There's nothing wrong with, working on yourself emotionally, and, there's nothing wrong with wanting to be a more peaceful, happier person. But as long as we aren't just doing that because we want the stuff, okay, because we want the things. Because the thing is that whatever energy that you learn to embody within yourself, you naturally will shift your consciousness. And then you naturally attract things into your life, because that is the universal law. So I would say that basically looking to be more peaceful and learning to respond consciously to situations in your life, being the observer of your reality. These are good practices that will help you to actually have a shift in your perspective, to help you to shift some of those deeply embedded limited belief systems. And then, you naturally grow as a person. You will naturally spiritually grow, and your life will be reflective of that, and what you experience will be reflective of that. Because it doesn't mean that if you become like a pro, let's say, at law of attraction, or you become a highly developed spiritual person, it doesn't necessarily mean that bad things are not going to happen to you, that there aren't going to be things that happen to you that are negative. It just is really about learning to handle life. And if life is responding to you in a certain way where you feel like it is mostly negative, then you have to go within and you have to ask yourself, okay, well, how am I feeling every day? This is where you have to check in with yourself. How am I choosing to feel every day? How am I choosing to look at these situations? And then just make adjustments from there. Anyway, I hope that helps. Thank you so much for watching, and